We are now in Shmoneh Kvatzim, the eight collections of Rav Kook. We are on the fifth Kvetz, the fifth collection, Paragraf, Ayin Tet, Paragraph 79. ההשגה השכלית, our mental conceptions, ראויה היא להיות נערכת. It should be edited, so to speak, or formed or built, לפי מידתה של המהות המוסרית של עומק הרצון. According to the depth, our moral depth, המהות המוסרית של עומק הרצון, of the depth of your will. Meaning how much ethical and moral, what is the quality or attributes which you have, which is tied to the depth of your will. How much of is your will? How much is your will is moral? What do you, so to speak?
Just to interject for a second, Aryeh talks a lot about academics and things, and Rav Kook makes a huge, not only makes this connection that your mental and spiritual abilities are connected to your morality. You make that connection. Like a lot of times in our world, academics and morality can be totally shut. I can have the most amazing professor in the world. No one's looking at his morality. But he's saying there's a direct correlation. That is, as much as I can gain in my mental, spiritual state is totally tied to my morality. And that's a big finish, I think, in our day.
And he says our mental conception, so how is it, where is it really tied?
Right, where's it coming
well, because, Moses' mental conceptions are in places which a academician would never even think about these things, right? Not involve himself with morality and things like that. And this is why Moses' conceptions of life and the world, even the sciences, evolution, is different than the way a non-highly moral human being would see it. ואז היא משתלמת בעצמה. Then he says, then your real mental conceptions, then it slowly becomes expanded and whole by itself. The more you are moral, the more you're ethical, and you will especially.
But that means I can get to some intellectual things without morality. I'm just not going to get that far. I mean, obviously people do. I mean, it's not.
Sure.
It doesn't happen.
But it's what I was saying, that it remains in a very mundane, physical sense. The conception of the world and life is very, very mundane. Just maintaining really the physical body. Get an education so you can make money to maintain your physical body. Enjoy your life, but nothing behind that. So, this is very shallow, basic conception of the world, ומשלמת את האדם, and it makes the man whole, of completes you, המשיג בהשלמה כזאת, שמביאה ברכה לא ולעולם. And so that now you can become whole and complete, because that real completion, your holistic whole, really brings blessings to you and to the world, right? The real blessings, because you begin to understand the real flow of real life and the goal of life in the world, right? היסוד המוסרי ברצון מתעמק הוא לפי רוב המעשה. The basis, the basic more, the ethical or the moral basic building blocks, which are involved with your will, becomes deeper the more your actions become deeper. מעשים טובים, we said before, right? According to your actions. וזה מונח כבר הכלל הגדול של הנטייה הטובה להיות תמיד מעשיו מרובים מחוכמתו. Therefore, we can understand already this general principle that it is more important as far as wisdom and things like that to be overloaded with good actions, okay? Meaning that actions, positive actions in life are more important than the wisdom itself, because if you are not behaving you don't have positive actions constantly, if you're not behaving morally in a high standard, your wisdom will not be able, you'll not be able to maintain the wisdom, it will dissipate, so to speak. So the sages says that Maasim Tovim, this is the basis for wisdom, right? Actions and good deeds and things like that. So through this we already can understand the principle of let your actions be greater than your talk, your words, so to speak. ויראת השם הבאה מתוך עומק שיקוף של כובד ראש פנימי, and the awe of God, which comes as a projection, or the film which shows us how much you take things seriously, כובד ראש, heavy head, inner, how much you think things seriously, inwardly, yeah. צריכה היא תמיד להכריע את יתר הערכים הנפשיים. This must always subdue all the other emotional values or life values. Meaning that the awe of God, right? As well as how deeply you meditate, you think about these things. This depth is the thing that determines or inclines you, right? Which way you will pour out your emotional, physical strength, everything, all of your energy, which way you will give out your energy, how will you use your energy. אז ימצא אדם את עצמו במצב של מרגוע פנימי. Then a person comes to a real state of quietness. Why? Because you are really doing what is really in flow with the river of life, the real river of life, the inner river of life, as you said before. You are paying attention to the important things. בהיות ההשגה מתעלה הרבה מחוג הרצון, when your mental conceptions are way beyond the circle of your will. I mean, you're just learning a lot of stuff, you know, and your will is not very strong. היא מנתקת אדם מעמדתו הבינונית, הראויה לא לפי מידתו. This disconnects you from the middle ground, which actually you should be on.
You say disconnect, מנתקת.
מנתקת, yeah. Meaning that maybe it's like a balloon. Your head becomes very big, you know, but actually, as far as your real human development, you're just in the middle ground. You know, it disconnects you from where you are in the reality.
You're talking about the will without the sechel. Right?
Yeah.
You're only talking about will.
No, he says. Yeah.
It's going to be not.
Yeah, because your real will, your real abilities in life are much lower level. This is where you should be. So that wisdom or the new conceptions, which is mental conceptions, will not be able to elevate him.
Oh, so what's he saying? If I only go by will, then I can get to my place?
No. If you're learning a lot of stuff, you're learning, and it has nothing to do with your real life, you know, with your real will. As far as really integrally connected with your life. You're just learning all sorts of stuff, you know.
He says,
מחוג הרצון, where your will is in reality, you know.
Oh, I see. So it's low.
It's low. Your will in reality, you're Beinoni. Yeah.
So therefore, it disconnects me, that it disconnects him from his middle ground where he should be. But
yeah. This you can say is about professors. They might think that they should run the world, but they shouldn't, because their real moral, ethical involvement with life is very, very low. So these ideas, as again, I always take people like Harari, that they're not really involved with real life. They're looking at life from like an eagle.
When I have children, I was shocked. He questioned why people have children. Harari. I heard it in my own ear.
Yeah. Again, this is what happens between the World War I and II. Many people became.
There's a very famous Israeli professor who came out with a book that's world renowned called Aryeh Rotenberg. thought.
The history of the future or something?
Man, and he brought anthropology
Of the future.
and he's been like on the top. He's very famous. What's his name?
Nonsense.
Harari, huh?
Harari. His name's Harari.
No. That's
Goes all
got
over
good
the
stuff
world.
there as
He wrote
well.
the
Some
book in
good stuff.
Hebrew. It's been translated to so many different languages, and he's on this.
Obama praised it,
Because he's bringing back, I have to say, if you're looking at Rav Kook where you have the negative and the positive, at least he's bringing those ideas to the fore. I mean, it's better. In my
That's
mind,
very materialistic.
it's a brand.
He's seeing the humanity really from a very, very much physical,
Right, but at least he's bringing the question.
physical point of view. He doesn't see anything underneath. He cannot see anything deep.
There's no spirituality.
So it's a very strange. This is what I'm talking about over here. These people, that's what the confusion. Most people look to the professors, You bring the television, you want an opinion or something.
Right, you always bring
Bring professor. So, because they think that he's, okay, this is exactly what he's talking about over here. As far as a human being, you can be very, very
Smart, very smart.
very middle ground,
There's always one element missing.
Yeah, the emotional intelligence is not really there most of the time. I told you, I met all sorts of professors when I was learning medicine myself, And from all the professors, I took a course in Aspen, pathology. Robbins was there, and there were other great professors in pathology, But he's the one that really impressed me as a human being, the way he behaved with his wife and reacting to negative negative behavior of the other professors, who were lording it over the students, I mean, he told them out in front of all the students, what's this behavior? What's going with you, He was a mensch. Then I found out he was Jewish, and I didn't know he was Jewish.
I just wanted to say that example of what you're talking about and what you said about how this Harari asks, why people have children.
Yeah, he was like,
and the philosopher Camus, very famous.
Same thing,
He said the most important the only philosophical question is why people don't commit suicide.
That was his fundamental question.
And I think it was Heschel said the most fundamental question in philosophy is what is worth dying for? Totally.
Completely different. That's
Nice. Camus came from such a net.
Camus.
Thank God I'm ignorant in
well,
philosophy.
he's not the
Existentialist with Sartre.
Yeah, he's in the same time as Sartre. Are they the same contemporary Sartre and Camus?
They were horrible people. Sartre was a horrible people's father.
This class, I thought he was a nice guy.
You might enjoy a book, I don't know if you enjoy it, to take the time.
I can't concentrate
It's called
that
The Intellectuals, and it's like an expose of all the major influences and what they were really like. For example, Rousseau, with his romanticism, abandoned his, and he wrote about family, Emile, child rearing. He abandoned his family to do this. Sartre, misogynist, and went on and on.
Kant, pure mind,
Voltaire must have been.
a horrible anti-Semite, Kant,
Go Gary.
Anti-Semite, big anti-Semite.
Voltaire? Don't tell me.
The whole French anti-Semitism came out of the emancipation and the intellectuals of the French intellectuals.
No, this is exactly what he's talking about. This is exactly the idea of
Very disappointing.
big brains, big mind,
Voltaire. It's terrible.
You like Voltaire?
No, because he was on the edge and he was doing things.
These are the rabbis of the Western world. These are the rabbis of the Western world.
Candide.
Yes.
But you know what it says?
No.
Voltaire's Candide is about the travels in this Pangloss. And what happened is that he says it's the best of all possible world. This is the best. So he keeps getting creamed. He gets banged. His wife gets raped. Everything. But the Dr. Pangloss says this is the best of all possible. All's for the best. The best of all possible world. What this came from was from Spinoza's philosophy, who said that he proved mathematically that of the worlds that were created, this may not look so good, but it's the best of possible worlds. Okay, so it's the best. And then there was an earthquake in Lisbon that swallowed up 20,000 people, and Voltaire said, "Oh, this is the best of all possible worlds," and it was a totally atheistic article to mock and parody the whole philosophy there.
Well, all right.
So anyway, that's it.
So this is what it means, that his conceptions in his mind way beyond the level, the circle of his will. היא מנתקת אדם מאמונתו, and now it disconnects you from where you are הבינונית, where you should be in reality. הראויה לפי מידתו, according to his real attributes of ethics, morality, emotions. This, you should be much lower level, but it's like a balloon, you know, it took your head way up there, right? ולמה העליונה מהותית לא תוכל להביאו. So this new mind that he has, this new conception cannot actually elevate him to an essential higher place. כי לא השכל, it is not the mind, כי אם הרצון המהותי, what determines what you can do with knowledge is not the knowledge itself or the mind, but your essential will, the inner real will. Where's your will connected to? עושה את החטיבות העצמית. This is what makes the essence of yourself, so to speak, where your will is. You know? על כן ראשית חוכמה היא תמיד יראת השם. Therefore, the beginning of wisdom is always the awe of God, the awe of looking at life and trying to realize that there is a purpose to life, right? And if you veer from that purpose, and if you go against that purpose, if you do damage to people and so forth, you are destroying. So if you have no fear, you know. שכל טוב לכל עושה. שכל טוב לכל עושה. שכל טוב. שכל טוב. A good mind is those who act properly. שכל טוב לכל עושה. Those who act properly. Not those who think properly, no, but those who act properly. This is why he says action, abundance of good deeds, good words. This is much more important than a big bloated mind, a big bloated head, so to speak, right?
You finished that?
We are now at paragraph P or 80.
Different types.
He's still talking about mind. He's talking about mind.
See, the call sechel called tov. It ends the same exact.
כשם שאין השכל הטבעי יכול למלא את מידת הכוח הגופני, just like our natural mind cannot fill, I don't know where he's going, the full extent of physical prowess.
You mean like eating, breathing?
I don't know. כי אם האדם צריך להתאמץ שיהיה מלא כוח חיים ואומץ גופני, meaning that, maybe he says like, by mind itself you cannot
take care of it.
you cannot get to your full physical prowess, right? Because you do have to make efforts to have more force of life and physical courage. I mean, you have to train yourself, so to speak.
He was into physical fitness, Rav Kook. Unbelievable, but true. Because in yeshiva, he used to go run, and it's wild. He's like really ahead of his time in that sense. He's so into physical fitness. Unfortunately, a lot of yeshivas, you can see it's not.
Okay, so he says it does take some physical training. Why? כדי שיוכל השכל לחול עליו בכל תגבורת ערכיו. So that the brain or the mind, your mind can actually take hold in all of its possibilities on the body. So the mind can come into full expression of all of its values over the body. על פי הכלל של מכירי הטבע נפש בריאה בגוף בריא. To the famous axiom, those who know nature, that you have a good vital soul or a good spirit in a good body. I mean, if the body is healthy, the spirit will also be.
Right. I think it's modern. He said it in the early 1900s. He says he's coming from the Greek. I don't know. The Greeks believed in mind, body. They believed in body. I don't know much about it.
Sound mind, sound body.
Your body.
That's Greek. Is it Greek?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sort of something mensa.
But he's talking about really about natural. He's talking about natural mind.
Mensa, the mind.
Mens sana in corpore sano. This is Latin.
The Latin.
Mens sana.
What is it?
Good.
Sound mind.
Sound mind in corpore sano. In the
Sound body.
Right.
Latin.
Over he's simply talking about the natural mind. Before he talked about hasaga, conceptions. Like you're in university, you learn out of conceptions, you know. Is it in harmony with your real abilities to realize, to do? He says, no, a lot of conceptions, it's a big problem because your will is on a much lower level. Over he's speaking simply on a much lower level, simply the natural mind and your body. So you want, let's say, most simple man, you want to be an athlete, a football player, you know. So he says, well, you know, even if you have a great will, if you haven't worked on the physical body, you know, even the mind cannot achieve its
maximum, its optimal.
Yeah, the mind cannot have its full effect on the body. The body has the chariot has the car. You know, you can give a lot of gas to the car. If the engine is not good, it's not going to help. Yeah, whatever, right? So he says the body is like that. It has to be trained also. It should do what the driver wants it to do, so to speak. כמו כן, אין השכל הנאצל לעליון. Likewise, in a similar way, the upper emanated mind, בצורת הופעת קודש, the way that upper mind appears when it comes from the holy source, יכולה למלא את המקום של השכל הטבעי, שהוא נערך לגביה, ממש גוף לגביה. Okay? So I guess what we talked in the morning about prayer, right? We talked about prayer, the feminine, the masculine, right? So he says that if your normal mind is very, very low, the big mind, the high spiritual mind, cannot actually come into expression in that small mind. Because it's like a body compared to it, right? It is something very materialistic, something very mundane. ולעולם צריך אדם למלא את המידה השכלית של השכל הטבעי בכל תכונותיו. So you must learn, you must go to school, you must develop all your capabilities, music, mathematics, sports, all these things, so that, whatever, education, all these things, so that the upper mind, which has to do with neshama, soul, has something to rest on, something that can talk to you. Right?
I think he's also recognized the physicality that if I have a healthy body, my mind works better, and that's not obvious to everyone. I mean, look around yeshivas; they're very, you know, people are not keeping in shape. In fact, it's the opposite way around. He's claiming, I think, here that you have to maintain your
all potentials. You can bring about, you can actualize, realize much more potentials than if you are not connected. It's like anything in life. The more you are involved with many different things, this is why Moses was so great, because he says Moses was exceptionally gifted in all fields. Right? He was involved in everything. So that the Ruach HaKodesh, when he came, he can explain about colors, how to build the Mishkan, right? Be a general, be a judge, be all these things, because he was involved in everything.
Nation builder, holy man. Nobody has been out there.
If you don't understand these things in real life, you know, your spirituality does not help you much. You don't know what to do with it. You know, the great gurus, you know, they were not really leaders of the people because they were not involved with this. They don't know how to translate this. The importance of being knowledgeable about the world. It's not just simply physical training, but being involved with all walks of life, so that this tremendous light of God, which encompasses everything, has a place in which it can come into expression. Yeah.
Just now,
and the physical body is very important.
Emphasizes this. Rabbi, you know his Cardozo?
I know Cardozo.
Yeah, and not only staying in shape, but having music and art and.
Staying in shape, I feel it now very much. In my older age, you know, And I see I'm lazy and this and this. You see how it affects you.
No, but because you did yoga your whole life, you're in way better shape than a lot of people.
I'm better shape, but still I'm getting older.
But I'm saying,
And I was always lazy. So.
according to Rav Kook, if I'm going to sit in the basement all day and get really fat and not go out and exercise, I will not be able
Yeah, you're not.
to utilize my full.
You cannot.
fat.
Literally, you
On the
cannot.
other hand, you see Tanoim, Rav Papa and someone else who are so big and fat, you could walk, two people with their stomachs touch, you could walk underneath them, that they were gedolim.
Yeah.
Right? So they didn't seem to be in shape. It wasn't an important thing at all.
Yeah, I think they were able to overcome. I think they're able to overcome the
Why
limitations.
is that in the Gemara? What's it?
Yeah, you have some people that mentioned they were big people.
Very good.
There was one famous story.
I think it's a question of habits. The more you have been, when you were younger, you develop these powerful habits that you're able to overcome all your tendencies to fall asleep, to do this, to do that. And even after you ate a lot, you didn't fall asleep, you pushed your mind so that the negative activity of the body did not pull you down. Doesn't affect you.
There's one famous
I think this is the idea of getting to the place where yesterday, where is that turning point where you won't fall down anymore?
Right.
Where is that famous turning point? Right? Because you have transformed yourself from a physical being to a really being that gets its real pleasure from the spiritual activity, and nothing in the world interferes, because you don't get satisfaction not from the food. You have to do the food and all these things, but it's not the thing that gives you. It doesn't bring you down, it doesn't bring you. Well, so what?
No, I was saying the story of a LeDavid where he was very obese, and so they said that he became that way from saying Yehi Shemei Rabbah with such fervor and passion. I personally don't believe it. I think it's a rationalization, but
But he's talking about nefesh b'riah, the guf bari. He's definitely saying about the vital soul versus the spirit.
It's important, sure, it's important, sure. It's very important, but unfortunately, maybe especially in history, we were so limited in our ability to express our physicality in the galut, so people were able to overcome these problems, and you do it a lot, sudot. What do you have to do all day? You're learning all day. You're not like David the Melech running in the fields,
Running away from you.
Yeah, all these things. So they were able to but you can't do it with Yesh Merabas. My teacher always used to tell the story of this Chassid. He's always in the same page of the Gemara. So he says, why are you always the same page? I mean, I like this place. This place, I really get Yeah, some people can get one thing is they can learn from it more and more, meditate on it more and more. This is the idea of meditation. Yesh Merabah. This is the whole world.
that's what he got overweight from that. That's what he said, because from the
You get avoid because you feel so satisfied, So you come home, you have nothing to do, so you eat.
That's Tikkun Azor. That's the one only on the Bereshit. That's Tikkun Azor. What's only about the Sefer? That's all.
Bereshit is a one word. Bereshit, yeah.
It's all about one word. The whole book's about one word.
Yeah.
70
Bereshit.
explanations or something like that. 70
Yeah,
different.
On Genesis, yeah, Genesis, yeah. Yeah. כדי שיתקיים במידתו הרוחנית גם כן התוכן של הנפש בריא בגוף בריא, כלומר רוח הקודש מהירה ומפותחה במסגרת של שכל נאור, צלול ובהיר, אוקיי. See, it smells the sugar, right?
That's a hit.
like this one here.
Okay, so he says we have to fill our natural mind to its full capacities, be involved in everything, right? So that its spiritual capacities can also fill all of the contents of the healthy mind, healthy body. כלומר, רוח הקודש מהירה ומפותחה, so that the full Holy Spirit, evolved Holy Spirit can actually come down במסגרת של שכל נאור, with a enlightened mind, צלול ובהיר, clear and clear, yeah. צלול is like clear water, yeah. בהיר is also,
Conception.
yeah.
By here, like the book.
By here. Oh, like
Right.
by here, yeah.
Right, exactly, of course. By you, yeah. Shining forth, you know. מעובה מכל החזיונות האפשריים. Then your mind, your body will be satiated from all of the different possible visions. You can have visions in sport, you can have visions in medicine. You get, right? Because your mind, art, everything. You have inspiration, which is what he says, being satiated with visions. Again, visions is wisdom. You get these eurekas all the time. Because you can study this, that. I understand. This is visions, right? This is the real great people. להיכנס בחוג מבטו. They all can come into the circle of his sight. I can involve in everything, right? של האדם, in the circle of your gaze. Most people just gaze what interests them, special, right? Now we're talking about the idea of interdisciplinary, right? And this interdisciplinary is solely just in the physical.
Renaissance man.
And now we want to be interdisciplinary, the physical and the spiritual, yeah? We have to be interdisciplinary in everything, spiritual and physical. Okay.
You say that you don't have a Renaissance man anymore because there's so much to know, you can't know it all.
Yeah.
You have Renaissance teams. That's the latest.
But it's such specialization. I think you can have Renaissance.
You can. This is the idea of Moses.
Yeah, it's hard.
It's hard because you this is again, you get mixed up the forest with the trees.
Yeah.
Because this, I think this is what he says before. You are collecting so much information, and information is not knowledge.
Right.
Because all information, just like a tree, first of all has the trunk. You can have, you might say the whole tree understanding the trunk, okay? I find from my experience that by being strong, when I said, no, I'm not going to start reading also this, I'm just going to concentrate on essential things, and I got connected to many things. You know, I didn't discover nothing by myself. I discovered other books, people, and from completely different walks. I got involved in music. I never was involved in music. I hardly even listened to music. I could never knew one song's words. You know, there was something around me. I never got a high for music, but when I understood the concept of Tamei Mikra and the way it was discovered by this woman, I got involved. Yeah, right. And this is very important. This concept, right? And I got involved in many things, and all these books which I want to have published, because I got involved because of. I didn't become just what do you say? A Kabbalistic, you know, right. Jewish Kabbalistic way, black, sitting in the yeshiva and avoiding all of life. I shouldn't be tainted with dirt or something like that. I kept being involved in everything, you know, and it's tremendous difference. You know. I can appreciate different Kabbalists, different walks of life, different types. I can understand them these days because I didn't, you know, close myself on one end completely, and I kept myself open. And be very careful not to be too, greedy, to impress people. Says, well, no, I don't have the brain to all get into details. I avoided the details, you know. This is what it means, the will. Be in tune with your will and also with your head. I said, no, I don't have such a great idea. My cousin, I'm not going to start reading all these books and finding what's connected between them. So no. It's not my head, you know. I can't do it, you know. I have different abilities. This is the most important thing, is that Moses, you have the Renaissance man, because Moses really collected all the information humanity had, the spiritual humanity and the external humanity had at that time, and he put it in the Torah in a very, very clear, mundane, unmythological, very clear, so anybody can relate to it, and he's got a lot of, so much secrets inside that stuff, you know. And if you're not a greedy, you know, The Buddhist says greedy, what do you say? Greedy ghosts. People are too greedy, even in knowledge and spirit. They want more power, information, to impress. V'achalta v'savato v'achta. Eat, be satiated, enough. It's true in everywhere. It's not only a physical thing. It is a mental emotion. It's most what he said before. People are just greedy, eating a lot of information. They have nothing new to say, so they write papers and they confuse the world. And they take us way off confusing and getting wrong ideas. And people like me find these books that, people who weren't greedy in science discovered the real science, the real stuff, and nobody's paying attention because they went way off the course because of greediness. And you have to write papers, it's your job, right? Nobody's pay attention to you, they fire you, they won't make you professor if you don't write papers. So you find in the branches over here, further and further and further, and you concoct things and you're not even on solid ground anymore. But people begin to follow you and you're way out in the left field. There's so much to know. So there's not so much to know. Life is much more simple. Much more simple.
But also you're looking at the input of what you said, I think, about you, and also most revealed, obviously, is that the outcome, the more I'm worldly and I'm with the world, when I want to explain these very difficult concepts, I can relate to a lot more people.
Yeah.
Because I've been out there. If I've only been in one environment, I can relate to it with my environment. That's about it.
Yeah.
So it's not just on the input, you're talking about the input, which is also true. But also on the output, when you're giving out now, because I've been around, I know different types of people, I can use different examples. That's, as I said on Shabbat, the difficult here is just bringing this down and helping you understand.
Yeah, Moses was 80 years old. He wasn't a young guy, got God realization like Buddha or Muhammad or Jesus, He was an old man that he collected a lot of worldly information and information also, material stuff. And to get the essence of these things, clearly, David was a man of the world, and they are the leaders. They're not people who are sitting in there.
Moses was 80 when we had the Har Sinai. What about Buddha? He was young.
These were young people.
And Jesus was young.
And it's usually a one-time shot for them, This is the big difference. Okay, so the importance of being constantly satiated with these spiritual visions, chezionot, right? להיכנס בחוג מבטו של האדם, so that many different things can come into your circle of vision, of your gaze. You can get involved with many different things, not just one circle, only Kabbalah, for instance, right? עם כל עומק החידור שבהם, all the depths of penetration, because you get deep into these things, ומידתו של הקדוש ברוך הוא שכלי ריקן אינו מחזיק. שכלי ריקן, and the attribute of God is that empty head does not hold anything. וכלי מלא מחזיק. But if you have a full head, then you can also hold much more, so to speak. Right?
Because it's counterintuitive that. You would say an empty head, right. I can hold more. He's saying
we say tabula rasa. Tabula rasa, well, that's in a child. But most people, when they get older, they're so full of it, they can't take anything more because they didn't understand nothing from, it's just a lot of garbage, information. You got in your machsan a lot of things, you don't know what to do with it. So you can't hold anything. But a full head, it means that you really assimilated things in your life, then you can take much, and you assimilated the essence of things. You don't get impressed by, this actor, he acts like this. And you understand what the essence of acting, the essence of art. You don't have to see every new show, to understand what is, entertainment or something like that. And people go to another show, oh, a little this, a little bit that. So they don't learn anything new, Right? They just get a new form. Nothing essential was changed. This is what he says. So a kli machzik, if you have learned something, then you can get more. Shenemar yahev chochmata lechacham. Who really gets wisdom? People that have already some sort of wisdom, they can take more and more and more. Umanda liyedei bina, and knowledge to those who have discrimination, have intelligence. They can get more, add more knowledge, because wisdom is a eureka experience. It means to see the total pictures, and knowledge is to see more details.
Pick up all the
Much more details, and yeah, yes, it's a little different. Uvelev kol chacham lev natati chokhmah. And that the heart of all people who have already a wise heart, I put more chokhmah, right? And it's also, we see that the essence of the Navi, v'nevi levav chokhmah. What enables the Navi to be wise? Because his heart, he has vision because his heart already is will. The inner essence already is wisdom. This is why he sees, he understands. He has vision because he has already, from past experiences, seen the essence of what things are. This is v'nevi levav chokhmah. This is why the nevuah was given to chachamim. Okay, most people say to fools and to children. Why? Because fools and children don't listen to the world anymore. They are more.
Well, it's very pure.
They're much more essential. They still listen to themselves.
It's pure. I don't think it's selfish.
No, they're still pure.
They haven't been ruined by the world yet.
they're not influenced.
They ask you,
Right.
yeah, they ask you the right questions. You don't have the answer. Maybe say, be quiet. You just have to believe. Just do what I tell you. So
They'll never say.
then slowly the children forget. But when they ask you tough questions, they're because of chokhmah, because they see something, and so they have a real question, you know.
They cannot put it in the world. They have this spark. But
Sometimes you see later on.
Yeah, but that story,
the Chacham
Depends.
But the story in the Zohar wasn't stam. They said it was in yellow. Don't think it was stam. Not because they made it story that it was a nice little boy. They did it on purpose.
I'm talking about
No, but I'm saying it's related.
But we say a question is half the answer. So if he can ask you a question, it means he has some sort of a conception, yeah?
of the answer.
Yeah.
Even.
No, because he already has some sort of a construction inside. He already has wisdom. He simply has some sort of wisdom, and now he wants to continue that, and so he asks you a question.
That's why the boy had more chokhmah, he had more intelligence than the
Good day.
rabbis. Understand? It wasn't stam. Something about that innocence of a boy that even has greater chokhmah than these great chachamim were talmidim of Rav Kook. How can it be? He's a little boy. Because something about a boy and that innocence is something even greater than the chokhmah.
They are not. They have not been affected by the negative of the world.
Right, exactly.
Yeshua.
Wow, Ari, you went for another